All right, everybody, welcome to our team call. It is January 2nd. Hold on, I was muting everybody. There we go. All right.
Do you really not know?
It's January 2nd, 2017. First Stay True team call of the year. We're super excited to get things rolling this year. No matter how hard I try not to, I always look at the new year as kind of a reset button on can you tell them to turn that down?
Let's go upstairs.
No, just tell them that it needs turned down.
No, they can't hear because you're talking too loud.
All right. We're going to go upstairs.
So. We have a lot of guests here and we need to.
Hold on a second.
Sorry, guys. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. So sorry about that. But yeah, so it's every year I try not to do the whole attitude of a new year, whatever, reset, but there is something refreshing about that. So I'm just rolling with it. I feel good about it and I'm excited about it. So ready to make some changes, refocus, and get back down to business. So hopefully you guys are too. I'm going to start out with a little recognition tonight. We've got our Success Club from last month. Now, some of the points, if you guys sold a challenge pack with the all access challenge pack, I guess they give you 2 points the week that the person orders, and they'll give you one more point the following week because it is worth 3 points, in case you guys didn't know that. So if you didn't get your 3 points for those challenge packs, keep an eye on that. Make sure that the following week you receive the 3rd point, just to make sure you get what you deserve for selling that challenge pack. So, so Success Club qualifiers for last month. Success Club 10, Gretchen Namoff was our sole winner or sole earner of 10 or more Success Club points. Success Club 5, Beth Akins, Dan Barry, Courtney Miller. Success Club earners, Kim Carlton, Glenn Akins, Moppy Byler, Monica Montgomery, Heidi Spangler, Christina Schneider, and Tina Sparks. So some more names on the board than last month, so congratulations to everybody there. And if I missed you by for some reason or by chance, please let me know, call me out, throw me under the bus and stay true, that's fine. I don't mind. I make mistakes and I deserve to be thrown under the bus every now and again. So second recognition I want to give out tonight is our weekly team volume point earners or leaders. This was for the week ending on 12/28. And so leading the way on Stay True was Moppy Byler. She had 526 points. Awesome job, Moppy. Dan Barry had 340 points. Gretchen Namoff, 310 points. Courtney Miller, 220 points. Glenn Akins, 210 points. Christina Schneider, 195 points. Suzanne Piercy, 180 points. Good job, Suzanne. Eugene Parker, 180 points. Beth Akins, 158 points. Matt Thomas, 140 points. Matt Sofel, 135 points. Rachel Childress, 135 points. Tina Sparks, 120 points, and Jennifer Novak, 105 points. So congrats to all the people that made that board. That's if you get 100 points or more each week, you will have your name on there. I liked it this week. It took me longer to do this report this week because there were more names. So congratulations, guys. Congratulations, and keep that up. So I am going to unmute Heidi's line now. Give me 1 second, Heidi. Okay, your line is unmuted, Heidi. Heidi's going to talk to us about the Lego Challenge or the
Lego Serious Play.
Yeah, Lego Serious Play that she's going to be leading us here this weekend at our Super Saturday. So Heidi, I'm going to turn it over to you to give us a little bit more detail as to what we can expect and what turned you on to introducing us to this.
Okay. So I'm certified in the Lego Serious Play technique, which is kind of this meeting facilitation, team building, discussion technique that was developed at Lego years ago. And And it's really fascinating process for groups to get together and you kind of discuss maybe issues you're facing in your coaching business or your vision for your business, but you build all of the responses to those questions and discussions in Lego models. I bring like thousands of Legos to the session, and everybody builds and everybody shares, and you can work together on different models and kind of adding things to other people's models to maybe address a concern someone shares. But it's really interesting how, so many times you think about your business and it's really a tool designed to use in business discussions or team discussions. When you're sitting in a meeting or just kind of thinking about your business, your brain works differently than when you're working with bricks and building. It triggers different elements in your brain, your right brain more than your left, and kind of gets you thinking more creatively. The times that I've done it and the workshops I've led, it's really fascinating what people start thinking about when they start talking about roadblocks in their job or things they really want to achieve. It's really a fun process, but it's also a very interesting and constructive process, and people really do come up with solutions and ideas together doing it. So it's something I've been doing for a living. I started a business in it a couple months ago. It's kind of my background is facilitation and consulting and team building discussions and project planning and that. And I added this service to my existing business. And when I was seeing the Super Saturday information on the Beachbody website, I thought, wow, this would be a really fun thing for coaching teams to do together. Kind of way also to get to know each other because, we have these calls. I haven't participated in many of them. I don't really know a lot of people on the team. I think as coaches who are being really successful, are building things that have made them successful and other people are building their vision, I think we could have a really good discussion together. So I thought it'd be a fun and also valuable element to add to the Super Saturday this weekend. So with that, I don't know if anybody had any questions about it or if you're familiar with it or heard about it before.
No, have any of you guys on the call heard about it or had experience with it? I have not. And so I'm super excited to check it out. It sounds cool.
Yeah. Thank you, Heidi, for being willing to do this with us.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah. And you got to realize something. Heidi is giving us her time. She is doing this at cost for us. So that we should take note of that and, thank her up and down for doing that. So I really hope that you guys want to come into this and participate in this. We're doing it next weekend, Super Saturday, down at the market in Green. So that is at the Giant Eagle in Green. So I really hope because we have to have 10 people in order to make this all work. And I think there may be 6 or 7 people that have said they were going. So we need a couple more people here to make it come together and make sense for everybody to do. So,
and we have a room. Dan reserved a room in Green, so it's not like we're out in the middle of the store. We're going to be up in a private room, and then feel free to come and eat there, get your breakfast or whatever, and just hang out. We'll go over the all the breaking news for Super Saturday, and then do this workshop with Heidi. So,
yeah.
Thanks, Heidi.
No problem. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to mute you now, Heidi, but thank you very much. Actually, I'm going to leave you unmuted, Heidi, because I'm going to unmute everybody now. And I also mentioned that on this call, we were going to talk about if you had any struggles right now with your business or what struggles with your business, areas that you want to improve on for 2017, and see if we could at least maybe direct you or give you guidance to maybe some kind of personal development that you could do. Maybe somebody else on the team is struggling with the same struggles you are, or areas where they want to improve. So I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to say one of the areas that I really
They are in bed. They're waiting.
And Monica, I just muted you. We had some noise here. So one of the areas that I'm wanting to focus or need to focus on is my time management and just the hectic type of schedule that I've allowed to take control of my life. And I need to earn that back and take control of it again. So I think I'm going to be reading a book called Getting Things Done. I read it a couple years ago, but I've adopted some of the concepts in that book a couple years ago, but then totally have let it slide, and it sucks because I don't know, for the past couple months I've just woken up every day and never had everything scheduled out. It was just like, oh, I'll start on this. I start on something, then all of a sudden I'm distracted by something else, so I go to that, start working on that. Then I remember, oh, crud, I was working on this, so I go back to that, and then it just kind of explodes from there. But so I'm looking for some order in my scheduling, and so I don't know, if anyone else is in that same boat, or, maybe we got people who are totally on with that, but are looking for other areas. So if you want to, you can, if somebody says something on the call tonight that triggers a thought or makes you think, yeah, maybe it'd be cool to maybe read the book together, or, team up with people and try to get stronger in a certain area. So that's my little spiel. Do you have any areas that you're looking at?
I don't know what book I'm gonna read. Well, I'm gonna read The Energy Bus next.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what that orange book is called? And that is about like just having fun and developing energy on your team. And because I just feel like everyone's been kind of like just steady, and we need to be, seeing more growth. And I know for myself especially, I think lately, like in this fall, I don't know why, but like fear started holding me back, and I stopped messaging as many people, or I haven't felt that well lately with all my foods and everything. So I just, instead of like sharing that, I'm like, once I figure this out, I'll share with people like how I got to the bottom of it. And in the meantime, it's like I should be sharing it as I go, because I don't know when I'm going to have it figured out. So I need to do something to get like my head back in the game of, we don't need to be afraid to reach out to people. If the worst they can do is say no, and the best they can do is completely change their life because you were brave enough to invite them. So I need to remind myself of that, but that's kind of where I am for 2017. Anybody else have just concerns or anything you want to?
Well, I'm reading The Energy Bus because you gave it to me.
Oh yeah, that's great. Do you like it so far?
I do like it so far, actually. I think it's a lot of those things that you already know, but it's good to have the reminder of how important your attitude is and how you approach things. My struggle just is always how to balance work, the regular job, and this.
Right.
And still have time to, do all the other stuff that I have to do. So I have not figured it out yet. I do well for a little while, and then I go days without, doing anything on Facebook, I post always my workouts, but that's the only thing I'm even semi-consistent with.
Right.
So do you know what to do, Suzanne? It's just a matter of following through and making sure it's done each day?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I know the vital behaviors. I know. And every day I wake up and I'm like, today I'm going to do it at this time. And then that time comes and I don't do it.
Well, and I think, so I have to compare like my summer schedule to your works, your school year schedule, because in the summer I don't have any time to myself. The kids, it's a little easier now that they're older, but we're just constantly on the go, or we're traveling, or they're just, they like to be on the go. So what I have to do, and I have to remind myself that instead of letting an entire week go by, because I'll set like, okay, I want to message 10 people a day. Well, maybe that's just completely unrealistic for you. So you can work in, power 5-minute things, and maybe like every morning you make sure, or every night before you go to bed, you make sure you reach out to at least one person a day. And sometimes in the summer, I'm like, yeah, because by the end of the week, I've at least reached 7 to 10 people. And if I wouldn't have done that at all, I'd be at no one, you know? So
Right.
you have to remember that like those tiny little bits still add up over the course of the whole week. So
yeah, and that's what I keep saying, but like I said, then the end of the day comes and I'm like, oh, I never did that.
so maybe it'll just be like every night, you know, after dinner, every night. I don't want to say right before you go to bed because that's the worst when someone gets back to you and then
I've had that happen many times.
Midnight because people were finally messaging me. I mean, Moppy and I were talking about this earlier. Like you sit down and say, I'm finally going to relax. And then people finally respond to you. You know, they're finally like.
Well, I told you, I found out women either do it first thing in the morning or right before they go to bed. That's when they message you and say, oh, I'm interested.
So maybe like a power 10 minutes right before you go to bed. But you're doing, I mean, just the fact that you post your workouts, that is like huge. One, you're keeping up with your workouts. So anyone that finally will jump on board with you knows like, okay, she's consistent. She's been doing this for a long time. You know, I mean, people need to see. And that's one thing I've been bad about lately is I've just been doing yoga. And for me, those are like harder videos or poses to post on my page. Like I don't know. It just seems like when you're doing core de force or
it's hard to take a selfie when your arms wrapped around behind your head. And
I'm gonna have to start working out at the same time Glenn does, just so I can be like, can you take my picture? But I haven't shared it as much, and it's like I know I need to because people appreciate that consistency. So know that even if you feel like you're not doing enough, like you're still doing something. I mean that, you know, there's that's
Sure.
valuable too. So, but I would encourage you to work in like power 5 minutes. If you can do 5 minutes 3 different times a day, it's just anything's better than nothing. So
Right. That's my goal.
yeah, that's awesome.
That's good. That's a good one.
Anybody else stuck or need help with something?
I have a question. So today, or actually yesterday, was the first time I'm going to hold this up. So this app, the Team Beachbody, where you sign up customers,
Okay.
I sent an email 3 different times actually to the same person and it never went through. So I found a different way to like get her the information. And then when I signed her up on my challenge to like download the app, she got that email just fine. But for some reason, she would not, like the email would not send. Like it told me it was sent, but it would never showed up
Did
in
it
her.
go to her junk? Did she check her junk folder?
I don't know. You know, I didn't ask her that, but I always feel like I'm weird with these earbuds in. I don't know. I mean, if the other one that I sent her with the app information didn't go to her junk, I would think, I mean, it's the same email address. I don't know. Maybe I should have asked her that.
It's sent through that Beachbody server or app thing. It's sent through Beachbody's server. So
Okay.
it well could have gone to her junk mail.
Because
Okay.
it comes from us.
Because it doesn't, you know, it's not like you're on your phone sending it from your mail, you know.
Right.
What I mean? So I would suggest, I don't use that app. I just never fell in love with it. Other coaches do and have used it quite a bit. I think Dan, I don't know if he still uses it, but I know that at one point he used it quite a bit.
Yeah.
So we set ours up through, I mean,
I just use my normal email and I take a link and send it to them.
That's what I did today. It seems like using the apps a lot easier because then they don't have to like type in your customer ID and all of that stuff. So the link I sent, you know, required her to do that. So I had to provide it and stuff, which was fine. And it worked.
Okay.
She bought the pack, but I just,
Okay.
that was odd.
And did you verify, have you seen her order come through on your
Yeah.
online office?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Congrats. Was that a challenge pack?
It was with the all access.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Yay.
I'm excited about that because I had a few people who said they were going to do it, and then 2 of them backed out, and one of them was like, I already have T25, and I'm like, what happened? I had like all these
everything else.
Yeah.
I know. So they're like, yeah, maybe I'll just try this. And then somebody was totally in, and then she was like, I'm not ready. I'm just going to keep sitting on the couch. I was like, Okay.
Make sure, like with those people, I always just keep it like really positive and say, hey, I can't want this more than you do, but just please know when you are tired of sitting on the couch or please reach out to me because I'm here when you're ready.
Just say, that's
what I said.
Watch Autumn and her brother cook on the couch with the fifth show.
Yeah.
Well, I just kind of said, bummer, it's too bad this time. I'll be here when you're ready. So
Perfect.
Yeah, just always keep it like really open-ended and
don't make it a big deal. Don't make it.
No, I didn't.
Just breeze it off like whatever. Okay, that's fine. I'm here whenever.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is a good idea, but I'm doing it anyway. So maybe you can tell me if it's not, but for the future. But the couple of people who own T25 from ages ago and just like, I never just got through it because I didn't have enough accountability. I just convinced them to at least join our challenge group. I won't be buying anything this time, but I thought maybe they'll see how great that is and then do something later.
I mean, there are coaches that don't do that. And I was talking to a girl the other day that thought I was absolutely crazy that I ever let anyone in that hasn't bought an official challenge pass.
That's to me.
But, I've worked with people that, Suzanne is one example. Like she's been in my groups for years, and first she never even did Shakeology, but I always, I just appreciate
trust me, I had to hear about it all the time. I'm joking.
But I just, her and I, like, she knew that my groups were available to her, and I appreciated her in the groups because she was motivating and posting, and she was completing her programs, and then it just evolved into like, oh, maybe I do feel good on Shakeology. And then I'm like, how about coaching?
And now I have so many bags in my house of Shakeology.
Drink up.
Yeah, really, drink up.
No, that's true. I was just talking in the morning with a group of people, and this coach, her name is Nina. She actually was not the same thing. She was not on Shakeology. She was just a customer that wanted in the groups and whatnot. And I think her two upline, like she had a coach and that one had another coach. Basically, she wasn't in groups or whatever. Those two people left. And now the person that allowed her in her groups all the time, which was her upline all the way up, now she's a 2-star coach under her. So, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. So you have to help people for sure.
Right. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay,
Awesome.
What else, guys?
Well, I just wanted to say to Suzanne, I was in your boat for a long time in the sense that I felt like I wanted to crave balance. Mm-hmm. And I was fighting with myself because I couldn't find balance. And I read this book that said, you will never find balance. That basically said you just have to do, and there will be stages in your life and days in your life where you're going to have to prioritize something. But your winning formula is into finding that time for what you want. And even if it's just a little bit of time, that little bit of time is the balance. That you won't be able to allocate the same amount of balance or the same amount of time or priority to everything.
Right.
But as long as you don't forget it and that you allocate some sort of energy or time to that, then that's your balance. Okay. So I'd say just, I learned from that book and that just doing whatever I can every day, still it's doing something. So
Right.
Thanks.
Well, and I thought it too, Lori Werner, like she a pharma rep, right?
No, a surgical implant rep, yeah.
And she said like she was so busy during the week that she would set up all her posts for her challenge group and her like recipe and motivation posts for her page, her Facebook page. She'd schedule it all on the weekend. So the only thing she had to do then during the week was the answering messages. And I'm like, wow, that's so disciplined. Sometimes I sit down to do that and I was laughing at Glenn at the beginning when he's like, I'm just scatterbrained. I'm like, oh, that's he's been hanging out with me for way too long. I have like ADD. I'll be working on something, then I'm like, oh wait, I just get so sidetracked. But even when I've sat down on a Sunday to say like, I'm gonna schedule out all my posts, I get to like Tuesday and then I get sidetracked. But Lori was like really regimented with that, and she was like, had this really successful career, became very successful with Beachbody, and now she does do just Beachbody, right?
Yeah, just this year she started. Yeah.
But yeah, she was like a working mom. Her kids are still small, and when I just hearing her story, I'm like, okay, that's pretty motivating to see that someone as busy as her still.
And that's a cool thing to hear too, that because that's the thing that I struggle with is posting throughout the week in Facebook. And there's Hootsuite, there's I use an app called Post Planner, and I could sit down on a Sunday and I could post my posts throughout, for the entire week.
Well, and Post Planner even gives you ideas.
Yeah, Post Planner will gather the most liked and most popular posts on Facebook, whether it's a picture, whether it's a quote, whatever it is, and it'll show you what those are. So the chances, if you take those same quotes, those same pictures, and make them your own,
they're on Glenn's page.
Then, if you do that, then chances are they'll get a lot of interaction. People will start liking them. People will share it, things like that. So it's definitely something that was worth. I think I don't know what it was. I think I paid $85 for the year or something like that.
Can you also just pay per month?
I think you can, but
or can you do a free trial month?
I think it's a 2-week free trial. Check it out, Post Planner, if you want to look at it. I think it's better than Hootsuite because of that function in there, being able to look at their ranked posts and make them your own and everything. So
I know. I've been using Hootsuite for so long. I get like stuck in my
ways, yeah,
comfort zone.
But I know that's something Lori used too. So
okay.
Crystal, do you have anything you want to share?
I would like to work on, kind of what you guys are talking about with the ADD thing, like jumping from topic to topic, for sure that. But also, I like having, I love to-do lists. I love a checklist of just the most basic tasks every day. So kind of taking that concept and turning it, there's all kinds of resources that Beachbody already provides, but there's almost too many in a way for me. So I want to kind of take what's available and form my own more simplified template of either daily or weekly, things that I want to do, just so that all I have to do is kind of wake up, and when I do find that 10 minutes or hour, then like these are the things I'm going to do, and not try to think about what should I do today, and
right.
Sure.
Kind of simplify the process.
Yeah, make it more focused, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, and if we look at it like, okay, guys, if we look at it like, okay, we are our own business owners, we get that, whatever, okay? But if we look at it and say, you know what, this is our job, and if we don't complete these tasks by the end of the day, you're going to get fired for not doing a good job at your job, right? So I think, I take for granted too often that a lot of people may not have just that entrepreneurial spirit or that mindset to be able to do things on their own without guidance, without direction, meaning that they are better at being employees than they are maybe at being entrepreneurs. So, but they're super successful at what they do, being an employee or, being whatever you may be. So if you don't have a list to follow, like Crystal mentioned, then it can become overwhelming and just you do nothing instead of at least something. So I personally have to have a list to kind of go through and check off, or I don't feel like I get stuff done. So I love that idea. I think that's a good idea.
Have you ever looked at the business activity tracker, Crystal?
Yes, I have. I've printed it a couple of times, And I think there's something on it that stops me, and I can't remember what it is, but
Okay, because I was gonna say you might, because I'm the same way. I've tried to use it, and it just, I don't know.
I need a different system, I think. But I appreciate that it exists. I just need to maybe like reframe it.
And you might want to look at that and take some things off of there. I can, Moppy shared one with us earlier.
I just sent it to her.
Okay, thank you, because it's more of a checklist, and
Yeah.
I don't know, when I was checking that today, I'm like, okay, this is like my kind of thing. Look, a few tallies and a few checks.
Right.
And
I like the Power Hour checklist I saw on, I think, Jeff's page, maybe the Emerald or the Coach to Emerald page. Like they had a good checklist on that I liked for Power Hour.
yeah, so it's just finding one, and like you said, you may take snippets from different ones, but get it typed out, so it's just something that you can print out for the week and use those for every day.
Cool.
And I will say this too, guys, like, let's not forget, like, to have fun with this. I mean, we look at the, like our posts and the stuff that we have to do, like, the parts that are kind of like tedious about the job, or that you feel like, oh my goodness, I gotta get it done. But a lot of this business is your personality and how you function. And reality is, people can buy what you have, like, through anywhere. I mean, they could go, well, now with the digital it's a little bit harder, but like the programs itself, and even Shakeology, I mean, people could go anywhere and try to get it, whatnot. But if you're not showing people who you are, and they're not getting attached to you. So just have fun with your social media. Maybe tomorrow you don't have time to do a planned post, and think about it and read it and whatever, but you can put a post about your personality, or how scatterbrained you are, or how how your kids are, just you need something for them to calm down, or how much you love your dogs, and you have this animal lover kind of person. So I mean, you have to show people that side of you. You have to be vulnerable, and you have to share your thoughts and things like that, so that people start attaching to you. Right. So when you don't feel like you can think of a post to invite people to a challenge group, then do a post about you, and about what you're doing and about what you're thinking and things like that.
Right.
Which I tend to forget. Sometimes I post too much about one thing and not enough about my life. Or sometimes I do the opposite too. So kind of like
people love to see what you're eating, whether it's like ice cream or something else.
Yes,
the variety.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Awesome. How about Ernie? Anything? Oh, you're muted. Hold on a sec. All right, there you go.
What are we asking here?
So
I came in after the start, so.
Oh, sorry about that. So this is just any topics or areas when you think about your business that you feel like you need to improve on for 2017. We've had time management, we've had posting, we've had ways to post, we've had checklists.
All of the above. Yeah, I think right now I'm just struggling getting that online presence, and getting that involvement. Looking at some of the other posts that people have put out, I've gone and tried to do similar, and I see like a whole list of people commenting on their posts, but then I look at mine and I have 0. And so I don't know if it's just not hitting, like not reaching the people that want it, or if they're not engaging. If it's just the people that I have as my friends, that I have on my friends list, are just not caring to get engaged as much.
Right. So here's what I'll tell you. Like, I can feel some of your pain. And I think it's, I'll go and I'll look at a post that maybe like Beth would do, or if I went and I looked at a post that another female coach who's doing really well in the business is posting, I might, if I post something similar to that, it'll pretty much be crickets. And it could be a couple of things. If you aren't posting often enough, then people just may not be seeing your post because of the Facebook algorithm and all that stuff that I don't understand. But the other thing is just relating to your audience and making it your own. Like Moppy said, having your own personality, you'll connect with different people than the people that are, commenting on Beth's post or whoever else's post. So, I don't get discouraged by it. It happens all the time. I'll make the mistake of comparing my post to somebody else's post and think that, man, it gets discouraging because yours is taken off and mine is like maybe 2 liked. 2 people that are like coaches on my team or something like that. And I'm like, gosh, is that the only people that see this,
And it is a little different for guys because you really have to, I think, get who your target market is and then post to them. So you couldn't take a post necessarily from my page and post it because maybe we're trying to reach different people. So like Glenn, he tries to reach men. I try to reach mainly women that are, around my same age with families that are, active and want to try to fit everything in. But he does struggle with that.
Just like looking at on my business page,
yeah.
I see people are seeing it, but I have nobody interacts with it. When I run into those people, they say, "Hey, I thought about contacting you about that. Saw that post, but I was just too busy to, I didn't say anything."
Right.
And it's like, well, why don't
you might want to try to post some things that are like an actual question that like Glenn, when he posts some of those just goofy things about.
Those are all from Post Planner, by the way. Those questions I get.
They get so much interaction. So they're not necessarily fitness related but it's kind of like the jab, 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 right hook. Like you've got their attention and like Moppy says, just be you. Like ask questions that you actually care about the answer to, like you might not ask the same ones Glenn does because they're like, give me an example of one. They're so off the wall, but people you get so many comments.
Yeah, those are interesting.
Yeah.
They're just random. But guys don't.
And I haven't done it for a while, and people are like, "Dude, when are you gonna ask your questions again?" Like,
oh, the picking your nose one, that was good. In the car.
Or do you dance in the car?
Do you dance in the car? Yeah, you do.
When I saw that picking the nose one, I was like, Glenn, seriously? And then Crystal's like commenting. So some of that stuff, like for guys to actually comment, it's got to be really good, like they either have to be like offended or they're like really like, yeah, that's awesome, I want to do that. Girls, it's a little bit easier to relate to that, like for us to relate to them. There's so many things that we can post about. I do feel like guys have it a little bit harder on Facebook.
Well, yeah, and if you look at it, social media in general, especially Facebook for guys, it's a very limited audience, truth, but they're out there. Don't think you won't get them, or don't think that, don't be afraid to reach out to females. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, well, it's just one of those. Like I said, the interaction is what I'm trying to get, and even with asking those questions, it just seems like people would much rather talk to me face to face than they would.
Ernie, tonight, do me a favor. When we get off the call, spend about 10 minutes, okay, and Google interactive questions for social media.
Okay.
And then just put that in the search bar. I've never done it, so I don't know if it'll work, but it should. And I bet you'll find like a website with like 101 questions to use on it to interact on Facebook or to get Facebook interaction or something like that. And just go through them. And, it could be something. Are you a Browns fan?
Sad.
you could say something like, so who do you think the Browns will take number 1 in the draft next year? Since they just, since we know they'll get the first round draft pick, or just something stupid like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Just think of like guy related questions
And I always tell Glenn, he doesn't do this enough, but I tell him, like, people love food and recipes, even guys. And like Glenn, I do most of the cooking if it's in the kitchen, but if we grill or smoke or whatever, that's him. And I'm like, you gotta post this stuff more, because like he loves going on the barbecue pit boys, which are these like total hilljack redneck guys that grill everything, including like the squirrel that ran in front of their house. And we're always, he's always watching those. So I feel like guys can post food things too. Maybe it's not like the pumpkin bread that you baked, but like something that you like. I think if you
my chocolate chip cookies from Pillsbury wrapped, fresh from the oven, guys.
I think if he posted some of those grilling things more, that would get interaction. I think.
I could give people my marijuana brownie recipe.
Oh boy.
With Shakeology.
Next person.
Next question.
I mean, what did you say?
All right.
Heidi, did you say something?
Yeah, I had, I'm kind of in the same place that Ernie is with kind of trying to develop this online presence. And I honestly was just initially going to be a discount coach. And then, I'm just so intrigued by this whole thing, and I love the product so much. And I'm just kind of stumbling on getting started, which I'm assuming is normal.
Yeah.
I accidentally signed a coach. I didn't even know I did. Gretchen had to email me and tell me that I did.
Oh my God.
Yeah, which was, was interesting. It was just a friend of mine who's like, oh, you seem so happy. What are you doing? And I was telling her about it. And then she's like, oh, send me the information. And I sent her a link, and honestly didn't think it was sincere, and had this real, like, I'm not going to bug her. She's a friend of mine from church. I don't want to bother her. And then Gretchen emailed me and she said, you signed a coach.
Oh my
and,
gosh, that's awesome.
I thought, yeah, I mean, it was strange. And she loves Shakeology. I had just given her a few packets of the vegan chocolate, and she loves it, wants to keep drinking it, and I know that was easier than it's going to be to get more. But, I'm kind of struggling too with this. You want to post interesting content for people. I want to be more than, someone who's like, oh, buy this product. You always look for interesting content to post, to kind of have this personality that's my own on my coaching page, so that I have something unique to offer that people are like, wow, she's interesting. She always posts. I just posted this article it was in The Economist, about gut bacteria affecting obesity and the need for prebiotics and probiotics. So I kind of posted it on my coach page with, wow, this is really good. It was like this is really probably one of the reasons Shakeology works so well. And I've been playing around a little with boosting posts on Facebook. You can pay like $10 on a budget, and they'll boost your post, and like 800 people that you don't know will see it.
Right.
And I haven't done a great job of that. I posted one that got a lot of activity, and my link was not correct, and somebody shared it. And I couldn't see who shared it, but she got a lot of clicks, but I couldn't see who they were. So, so I'm kind of learning, but it's a struggle. I have a struggle with contacting my friends. I'm almost more comfortable contacting people I don't know. And that's something I really want to figure out is, in business, I've worked in sales so much my whole life, and I know how to cold call, and I know how to, I know like 80% of sales are made on the 12th contact with someone. Mm-hmm. I know it takes more than one, hey, this is great. Oh, I love you too. I'm going to buy everything you have. I love, it doesn't happen that way. And I struggle much more with accepting that with this. There's more of a fear associated with it. I think because the people I'm talking to are personal friends, and there's that fear of, am I going to irritate this friend of mine? Am I going to, and I know that's something that I need to get past.
Right.
Because the things that I'm doing, I love. I mean, I feel like a different person since I started the Beachbody stuff, and I've only been doing it since May. But
And
you almost feel like as sincere as you are, you come off as insincere for some reason. You know, and I'm struggling to figure that all out. You know, and I'm trying to find a social media way to kind of magically do this without ever really having to deal with this issue I'm having, which I also know is probably not going to happen. So that's kind of where I am with this, is trying to figure that stuff out and kind of getting past this first, you know, kind of initial stage of being a coach. I don't know if you guys who have been doing this a lot longer dealt with that.
So Heidi,
But,
my background was in orthopedic medical device sales, and I was super successful in that business. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to knock this Beachbody thing out of the water because I was a top rep, blah, blah, blah. I can sell. I've proven that I can sell. And I refused to admit that I couldn't do it and carry those skills over to Beachbody, because this is totally different from any like outside sales job that I had ever done. This is more, you know, I didn't start having success with Beachbody until Armbruster finally just said, dude, you're never going to be successful unless you go through my training and you stop trying to be a salesman and start trying to help people and share with people. And I still really didn't understand what he was talking about until I started experiencing it firsthand, and just went after it with the heart of sharing stuff with people, because like you said, you love the products, you love what the company's all about, and just having that mindset versus saying or thinking that you're out there selling the products.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's interesting because since you have a sales background and I do, I feel like as sincere as I am, because my background is sales, there's something insincere about what I'm doing.
Sure. Yeah, and I still feel
I know, yeah. In my heart, I know I'm trying to help, but I feel like my mind is on, I'm coming across as a salesperson and don't mean to.
Right. It's kind of like
which is weird because I haven't even tried to sell yet. But there's that fear of, I don't want to take what I know and apply it to this because I don't think that's the model.
Right. And I'd love to talk to you, Heidi. I'll spend some time with you if you'd like on, you know, we can have a one-off conversation about that, because that's a big issue. Like I'm still, I work hard at that every day, as far as trying to not let my salesiness come in. And it's a mindset thing. It's not necessarily what I do or what I say. It's just my own mindset that I struggle with, and feeling kind of icky about the fact that, you know, in sales, it was easy for me to sell to strangers. And now in this business, it's my friends, it's my family, it's people I love and care about. And are they looking at me, knowing my sales background, thinking, oh, look at Glenn, he's just trying to be the slickster on me, or you know what I mean? And it's like, no, I'm not.
Yeah. But one thing is like, don't complicate it. So often, like you know, like Crystal said, there's so many things in the back office, you can really get like, you feel overwhelmed with it, but don't overcomplicate it. So you're sharing Beachbody because of how it's like what it's done for you. So when you share it with someone, you can say, I don't know if this interests you or not, but I feel so much better. And that's why I want to share it with everyone that I care about. Because if you're not feeling, or especially if someone tells you like, wow, I'm just exhausted, or I haven't been able to lose weight, or, you know, I'm so unmotivated right now, don't be afraid to say, I have to share this with you because this is what's worked for me. Like, you have a story with Beachbody, so that's what people will relate to, your story. And with Facebook, I mean, Mapi, you know, said this earlier, that it's okay to be you and to be vulnerable on Facebook. So you might want to think about like 3 areas that are very important to you. So people know that I'm an animal lover. I love Jesus. I will post all kinds of inspiration and scripture and whatever. I'll post things about my family, and I'll post things about like what things that we do to be healthy. And a lot of that is food and recipes and stuff, just because I get good feedback on that. So my posts don't have to be complicated. I mean, there are some that I want to spend more time on and I want them to be inspiring, but sometimes I just I'll read a scripture that stands out to me and I'll Google it on my phone and find a picture that's already made and just post that. Like, hey, I don't know if anyone else could use this today, but here you go. So on your Facebook page, just like that article that you shared, about the gut health and Shakeology, that's a perfect way to squeak Shakeology in there without being salesy. We're not going to mention the price or the, I don't know. It's just a nice way to hint about it and provide a resource you're providing value. Sometimes I don't feel like I provide enough value, and that's one of my goals. I think if I was
I feel like
go ahead.
One of the things I study in my business is content marketing. How if you're trying to build an audience to like what you're doing, you need to have content there that people find interesting and intriguing and that defines you. So not just selling, but really what, like you're saying, your content marketing is really who you are.
Right.
And there's things that people know. When I go to Beth's page, I'm going to find inspirational stuff. She's always going to post something that makes me think during the day, or, and I'm pretty active on Facebook with things. I post a lot about running because I'm a runner. Different things, kind of silly stuff, a lot about my family. I definitely have a personality there with my friends, and a lot of it is focused on fitness and food and, humor. And I think it's to carry that to the coach page and kind of, build that audience who knows you only for that stuff.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard. Yeah. On an existing Facebook page where there's maybe some other things going on that aren't related, that might alienate, a different audience. I think it's important to have those two separate pages.
But think about too, I would encourage you to, if you're already posting about that kind of stuff, have you tried the Beachbody performance line or things like that? You mentioned
Yeah, I love that stuff. Yeah.
So, that's stuff that's a whole community out there that some coaches and the minority of coaches, or a minority of coaches, have actually gone into. I mean, we are partnered with the Ironman. Why haven't we marketed as coaches to the Ironman? Well, because half the coaches, probably 90% of the coaches at Beachbody, have zero interest in triathlons. So if you're a runner or you have an interest in that niche market, then people might see that. And I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think you've got a lot. I interrupted you, Moppy.
Yeah, what were you going to say, Moppy?
No, I just said, very respectfully and humbling, because I'm the queen of mistakes and I've made them all probably, is that and say that I disagree with you. I feel like that was part of some of the struggles that I had earlier. I had this persona of me and this persona of being a coach. And I think it's just about integrating it and making it part of your life. If you're,
right.
You're already thinking, you're already posting about running and already posting about your family and all of that. That's part of your life. And coaching, if you have that passion to help others, that's going to be part of your life. So you don't need a separate page, or you don't need to think about, how am I going to divide this, or think about, maybe these sound too salesy. If you really believe in it, and it sounds like you do love it, it just comes across like that. You love it, just like you love Chipotle or going to Target, it's just in you. It's part of your life, part of your lifestyle. And I think that so many of us, because we want to succeed so much, and we just kind of overcomplicate things, and we try to think, I'm being too much of this, or I'm being too little of that. And it's just simple. It's just one thing that we love and we happen to share with everybody. Just like the other day, I was talking about, how much I love to Target, so much so that people recognize when I'm with my kids or not with my kids, which is terrifying. And so, you know, and I just love it. I love to go there. But and people know I'm a Target lover. Like and the same thing with Beachbody, it just comes across like that. Like, you know, I love the products. I love how it makes me feel. And that's why I'm sharing it with you. And sure, some people will take you like salesy, you know, like salesy and think, oh, you know, you're trying to sell me something. But that comes with the job. That just comes with it. And if they get to know you, they get to know the heart that you have for helping others and helping others, like jumping on this wagon. So, you know, they'll get to know you. They'll know that you just don't want to, you know, a check, but you want to truly help them. That's just my personal opinion. Thank you.
That's interesting. I mean, yeah, I'm definitely trying to figure all of this out, and that's some good insight. So thank you.
So Heidi, in the meantime, I see that you have Kate as a coach under you, right?
Yeah, that was my accidental coach.
That was your accidental coach. But do you want to accidentally become Emerald by Thursday? You know, you're one coach away from becoming Emerald. Right? You're married, right?
Yeah, I know. My husband's on it. I'm probably going to sign him up shortly. I've just right now got so much Shakeology here because I bought out somebody's inventory who quit.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah, and it wasn't a ton of it, but that's I was going to buy one bag from her, and she just gave me all of it. And some of them were open, so you know I couldn't give them the sample. So I've been going through it. So I think by the end of the month, I'll be set to sign him up.
Well, and I can, we can talk about that because it's big when you become Emerald. That's the start of bonus cycles and everything else. So.
Yeah, and Gretchen was showing me like I opened up my left or my right side. I did something.
Yeah.
She and I sat down and did it because she was saying I should sign him.
Right. Awesome. All right.
All right. Well, we are like at a whole hour, so sorry, you guys. Oh yeah, Monica, did you have anything? She's muted.
Hey, Monica, I just unmuted you. I hope you haven't been trying to talk the whole time.
Oh no, I knew it was muted. I thought it was muted earlier when I couldn't hear my husband, and then he was like, "The kids are ready to tuck you in bed." So sorry about that, guys.
Stress of a bedtime call, right?
Oh my gosh, it was. I heard everybody laugh, and I was like, "Oh, I might not have been muted."
What our kids are doing right now, so it's
I know. No. And now it's 10. Oh my gosh, we're hiding in our bedroom.
Well, they have school tomorrow, so we were like, "You got to go to bed on time."
Oh,
so
yeah.
So no, everyone, I agree with what everyone's saying as far as like changes and stuff like that, is posting regularly and, you know, just being more consistent and kind of balancing my time. And I feel like I've gotten a lot done over Christmas, so it kind of stinks that we all go back to work and school tomorrow. So
yeah.
But I guess, just doing those 5 minutes here and there at a time will help. So
do what you can and know that even a little bit gets you places.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
So, okay, guys. Well, thanks for getting on. Thanks for hanging with us. Sorry we went long tonight.